Okay, we are back again. Again, in another game. You guys have no idea some of the games that I have to slog through to even get a game sometimes. Man, oh, it makes me really not really makes me not want to take a solid game for granted, you know, like really appreciate a decent game because dude, some of these games in solo queue are annoying. That's crazy. That is a crazy person, actually. That guy was specifically sitting there for just what I did. Freaky stuff. Gameplay evolutions going on in solo queue, huh? But I got a Soraka game. Some horrible experiences in solo queue today. So really hoping to forget about those games and have a good time in solo queue in my next couple games. But this one, I'll forget about the next couple and say this game specifically. I think my Ori has that guy on their own. Dude, Soraka Ezreal is no joke level 1, man. We are strong. Specifically Ezreal, but I mean Soraka Q, not bad. Not bad at all, especially when they're face checking me and we get to just cast this stuff at them for free. But the reason why I picked Soraka this game is for a couple reasons. The enemy bot lane was showing to be Jhin Lux. Ooh, very nice. Actually landed a nice Q there. And my AD carry was Ezreal, so my first instinct was actually to pick Nami, but Nami was banned. So instead of Nami, maybe I should have taken E I probably should have taken E to poke these guys even lower, but I just want to top up my Ezreal, because whenever I hit a Q, it's just so nice to get that free heal off, right? So I'm trying to play for our HP bars more than I'm playing for theirs right now, but considering they were so low, especially the Lux, I probably should have taken E, if that makes sense. But either way, really good. But because my Ezreal has no flash, I am going to get a reasonably early ward, and I'm actually going to ward here, because the Rek'Sai could technically do some weird, funky pathing and get around a Tribush ward. Nice. My Ezreal is playing pretty smart, at least. Nice. I knew I was going to hit level 3, and we got him. Get owned, buddy. Get owned. Caught him sleeping under his tower, actually. Okay. Done what I can there for you. I'm just going to get my base off nice and early. Let's see. So I think... I don't know if I got all my points off very clearly, but yeah, my first instinct was to pick Nami, but Nami was banned, and the reason why my instinct is to pick something like Nami or Soraka in a game like this is because this enemy bot lane is Jhin Lux, right? The only thing they can do is like poke us down and sort of lock us down with CC and stuff like that under our tower. And if I pick something like Nautilus, I could play the lane to like hard engage on them and counter them that way, right? Alternatively, dude, what is going on? I'm just gonna spam ping there and hope that my mid laner doesn't die. Okay, they're here. That's fine. I'll just use a potion to heal myself back up. I'm glad that we actually found them, so that my mid laner doesn't have to be as scared. Very nice poke. But the other course of action is into a poke lane like this. Just play some kind of sustain and look to outvalue them later. Like, they have this poke, but I'm not even sure you do nearly enough damage to win that, buddy. I actually killed him with my banana. The slowest auto attack. Dude, Ezreal is just completely owning them right now, and I got a free heal off of that Q. I mean, this game couldn't go any better. My Ezreal had a really solid idea of just bush camping level 1, and that has completely snowballed this game. Wow. Kind of sad that I couldn't cancel her there with my Q. Yeah, this game has snowballed completely out of control for this enemy team through bot lane already. We just have to stay clean. What was I saying? There's just so much going on, I keep getting interrupted. That's okay. I was talking about how you can play enchanters in a situation like this, especially with a champ like Ezreal who can fight back in a ranged battle. That's why my first instinct was to pick a champ like Nami, because I can buff up my Ezreal's poke with Nami and heal him and sustain him. That's why Ezreal Nami is such a classic combo. It used to be really popular. It was Nami's best combo before Lucian Nami existed. So that's why I went to Nami first, but Soraka, even like Sona, you know, theoretically I could go, you know, Yumi if I really had no other choice. But anything with some kind of sustain would do great in this situation. And it only gets better. Like, this early game has gone great, but it only gets better. We scale into being so much more useful than them. And I'm building my first item. You might be wondering why I'm not going something like Moonstone. And you might think that I'm going Redemption, because Redemption is seen as really, really strong right now. But I'm actually going to go Mikhail's first, so that I can make sure that my Ezreal never gets, you know, my Ezreal or any other teammate never gets locked down and he can play how he wants, because one of their only, you know, X factors is the potential Jhin Ws or Lux Qs hitting us. So when we remove those extra factors, oh my good lord. Are you serious? Okay. I will just keep talking and just pretend that didn't happen from Ezreal. That's insane. As long as we remove those factors with the Mikhails, it makes it even harder for them to come back. And then after my Mikhails, I'm probably almost certainly just going to build a Redemption after that, and then a Moonstone after that. And then we're just going to be in such a good spot. I mean, we already are. Just such value coming from a Soraka pick in this game. Is nothing too crazy going on. I'm going to get a ward above mid here. A ward in the middle of mid. So my mid laner can play the game a little safer, because honestly, I don't think we need all that much coverage for ourselves bot lane. We're just completely demolishing. Oh my. I gotta look at health bars. I ulted for Mundo. And it looks like it helped a lot. My Soraka ult on Mundo actually saved him and got me 2 assists, so I will certainly take that. As much as I want to clear this ward right now, I gotta make sure that there's no chance the Jhin walks up here. Okay. I'll heal you one more time, Ezreal, just cuz. I don't really care too much to clear this ward, because it's too out of my way right now. I want to help my Ezreal clear this wave first. Potentially even take tower, but I kind of don't even want us to kill the tower, because we can stay in this lane phase and keep abusing them. Okay, let's see. What is Ezreal trying to do? Okay, nice try. I really think I could base personally as soon as possible, so that I can re-up my vision control and get my Mikhails. Zoning these guys off with my silence. Could have been a bit more effective on the silence, but still. Definitely the right idea. Wow. They're just getting... Really now. Oof, I'm sure Poppy's not happy with that. The fact that Ezreal lives there. Nice. Okay. Now I can base. Super, super good. Yeah, I'm sure you guys can sort of tell the potential power in a pick like this, because I think a lot of people see a lane like Jin Lux, right? And they're like, oh man, I gotta play like Leona, Nautilus, whatever. And that's how I used to think, personally. I used to never consider like some kind of enchanter counterpick into that. But if your AD carries something like Ezreal that can fight back, or like a Varus or something, that can maybe fight back into this range, and you can just keep them topped up, then you have the advantage. It's poke v poke, but then all of a sudden you have this sustain advantage that they don't have. And as long as something doesn't go crazy wrong, or they don't get some crazy advantage early, then you're in a really good spot off the bat. And I will say something else is I decided to take the Guardian Keystone for reasons that may surprise you, because I don't really care about the Guardian at all. Or I should say, I have Guardian not because of Guardian itself whatsoever. I was questioning whether or not I should even Mikhails that, by the way, because I want to save my Mikhails for when it's really important, kind of, and not just using it just on the first CC that hits my Ezreal, because I feel like he might get engaged on now that they know my Mikhails is down. But I thought there was a small potential that he could get a kill or continue chasing in some way there. That's why I Mikhails. But, or like a really solid trade. It was still a good trade, but not an amazing one. Okay, if they let me base, I'm loving that. On my way to my redemption. And let's see, the reason why I took Guardian, I will now explain that point now that I have some time. The reason why I took Guardian is because I really like magical footwear on enchanters. And as much as I would like to take Aerie and the blue keystone, because Aerie is just a ton of value, much more value than Guardian itself. But Soraka in particular, okay, Soraka in particular with with this rune tree, she actually works really well with the minor runes of Revitalize, Font of Life. Even Bone Plating right there saved a lot of my HP. It's like a nice scaler of a rune. Okay. I shouldn't have Mikhails myself for the bonus HP there at that point. I knew I was dead. I could have not put myself in that position, but I feel like if the enemy team is going to go on me there, then we would just win the situation so hard. But looking back on it, I should have just played it safe for myself. I kind of thought they would just be in full escape mode, but they just went on me, which is fine. But not great. But yeah, the reason why I took Guardian is much more for the secondary runes than the Guardian itself. And I think it's really good on Soraka in particular. If you have a lane where you don't really expect to get much value from Aerie. Because if I was against like a Braum lane, for example, as Soraka, then I'd be a lot more likely to take Aerie and kind of, you know, get a little bit more damage going and try and abuse them in lane. But realistically, I shouldn't expect to interact with the Jhin and Lux that much as Soraka, outside of very early on, maybe. So the extra damage of, like, you know, Aerie and Scorch and all that is not really all that useful. So I just went full defensive, full value with Guardian and heal, and I actually really liked it. With the Revitalize and my ulti, I think I saved my Mundo for the double kill topside, and he ended up going deathless when he was 1 HP. Yeah, I think my runes, my itemization, my champion pick was all so good here, and we made the enemy team FF at 15. With that combined with my Ezreal actually calling for a smart bush camp because of the enemy team's topside invade, they had to come face check us on their way back down to bot lane, and they just got completely screwed over by that because of how much better Ezreal is level 1 than Jhin in a fight like that. Just so much more damage. But I am really happy with that Soraka game. Thank goodness, after some awful experiences in solo queue before that. That one was really good. So, yeah, that's the Soraka game.